So, Lawrence, I wanted to ask if we were due to level up. I think it's been 4 sessions.
Let's see. So where are we in our story at this point?
Something about a
We,
fish taco.
yeah, we're in the fish taco. We're
Oh,
about to talk to the tech
you're
guy.
at the strip the the Triton and Mermaid strip club. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So we fought those guys in the camo at the warehouse last time, and then we had I don't know. We ran around the one before that, and then we fought the hydro things there for 2 sessions before that. So I didn't know
Okay,
if
so that makes sense. So everybody, and we already completed a story arc of story mission essentially to
hmm
return, get the
The
drugs off
heist.
planet. So,
yeah, and we've got like a week off. You told us to take like a week and do stuff. So I thought,
yeah.
well,
Okay, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and be 10th level then.
yay! That makes me happy. And while we're here, malingering around, I think that everybody in the party needs to have fake IDs that we can whip out if we need, like that shows that we're citizens and we have due process and everything. Can we get that here?
On Uranus, yes, absolutely. This is a resort planet where well-to-do people hang out, and there's a large criminal element as well, so you can get fake IDs here, probably no problem. Okay, so you're probably it just depends on the quality of the ID you want. You're looking anywhere from 500 for the most basic to 1500 for the deluxe,
Mm,
and 1000 for something that's probably good quality in the middle.
okay. Well, I think I have a good quality one that says who I really am, so I probably just need
But you don't want that associated with all the criminal things you do. So
exactly. So I could probably make do with a 500 or 1,000. If but what do you guys think?
For the. Sorry, I just got back.
Oh, for fake IDs, I think we all need fake IDs so that we can whip them out for the Inquisitors if we need to. And this is a good place to buy them. Lawrence says we could get anywhere from like rough and ready ones for 500 credits to very ironclad sort of ones for 1,500. So I was thinking about what level I wanted, and then we can get ones kind of in the middle for 1,000. We'd probably have to roll more with those, wouldn't we?
For really good ones, about 1,000, you said?
1,500.
1,500? I could do that for me.
Yeah, I kind of think that, yeah, there'd be less rolling involved with the 1,500.
Yeah.
So I think I'm good for that too.
everybody's looking at Ronan's IDs like, honestly, who puts McLovin as their last name?
McLovin. Hey, it worked before.
McLovin. McLovin.
Oh, I have 2,000 credits, but I think I owe somebody some money. I just don't remember who.
I think I gave you some, and that's fine. We're square.
Be right back.
You had to get some things repaired after that last thing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna note basically there's probably gonna be like a 20%, 25% surcharge for if you're a robot of any sort, because it's fundamentally harder to change your identity as a robot. Because you
Okay.
have all sorts of serial numbers and other stuff on your components that make it hard to fake who you are.
Could
So 1,800 for a high-end ID for hate.
For hate, yeah. So
All right, I have just enough for that, so I'll do that.
okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll assume everybody has fake IDs at various levels of goodness at this point.
and I think Asgul already had some because he had made
And
them.
Asg already had one. He already invested, I believe, 500 in a basic fake ID. So
Hmm. And
I have
then
the. I spent 1,000 gold because I only have 1,500.
okay,
okay, we
How
can.
much would it
Mhm.
so I can put the middle tier ID?
if you want to fill out your current ID some more, the unit it's a $500 500 credits upgraded up to a middle tier ID because you have a low grade one right now.
Okay, I'll do that.
So let's say a low tier ID basically means like you are a frozen meat product sort of level of like peon type of ID, or like barely a citizen of the empire. So the 1,000 is you're actually a citizen, a normal like middle class citizen of the empire, and 1,500 is like you are a high class citizen of the empire. So
I think that's worth it. We're undoubtedly
okay,
going to be stretching somebody's imagination.
yes. But that being said, essentially keep in mind it's like criminal activity associated with these IDs essentially obviously starts degrading their value over time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What degrades them over time?
Criminal activity essentially, if you start under that ID, start getting basically fingered for like crime and treason against the empire, that degrades the quality of your ID. So,
That makes
uh,
total sense.
okay. So let's see here. Let's see here. And why were we at the fish taco again?
We
It is
were
where we're
going
going to meet
there.
the
Oh, go ahead.
the tech
Oh,
priest.
The tech
you're gonna
monk.
meet the Arc Mechanicus
Mm.
guy essentially from the Eye of the Storm. All right, so you see a selection of tech priests in the two-tiered bar that is the fish taco. The dance floor is actually sort of like there's basically a pool in the middle of the in the middle of the strip club, where all the patrons that are hanging next to the pole dancers hang out. Uh, and then the stage itself is actually there's some sort of force wall holding back like lots of water as the various exotic dancers that are tritons and mermaids and other fish folk, whatever floats your boat. It's like, is that just a big fish in there? Who gets turned on by that? And it's just like, some of you are just sort of scratching your head. Uh,
And I think
and
if we can retcon that Mina cast water breathing on us ritually
Yes, you
before we
already
went.
said you had water
Yeah.
breathing. So the bar itself is actually the outer edge of the bar has a big air pocket in it, essentially. So like normal serving normal human drinks, essentially over here at the bar and these upper VIP tables, you do not need water breathing. Uh, the you can see several tech priests with their black and gold robes hung over chairs. Underneath, you can see that they're all cybered up. There's just like they have large portions of their anatomy replaced with like steel. The like either half of their face, like a leg and an arm at least, and some of the high adept, which you're guessing is the person that you probably want to talk to, is like he's like 80% cyberware. He looks like a Borg. It's like there's a bit of like flesh around his face and neck, but that's about it. Other than that, they don't seem to be strangely enough wearing all that much. They're like wearing like these sort of simple cloth undergarments from like the mid chest on down, but just like you can see their shoulders and so on. It's like you normally haven't seen tech priests without their robes on, but this is what apparently they dress like. This is what their undergarments look like. Uh, the uh, the high tech adept at this point seems to have a plump looking mermaid woman perched on his lap, whispering sweet nothings into his ear. And then there's a Triton bartender with like a aqua mask, like feeding him oxygenated water essentially through his gills in his neck, and he sort of looks. He sees you basically look his way. He waves basically and waves you over as like, "Can I get you all a drink?" It's like our specialty is the sea fizz, essentially. Uh, Genovian rum and bitters from here on Uranus, and some fizzy water.
My apologies, good sir. I am here for business, not pleasure.
Well, let's see. Let me put it this. Let me put it to you this way. There's a large contingent of people that basically will look at you pretty strange if you don't have a drink in your hand. So part of business is pleasure around here.
Well said.
Mina will get everybody
Because
around.
the other thing you noticed on the way in was this like 3 drink minimum. So if you don't buy any drinks, they're probably going to give you shit immediately.
Yeah, Mina will buy around.
Okay, you
I'll take
you pay your let's see, Mina. Let's see, a round is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you pay your 100 credits for the round. You're going, God damn, this place is expensive. As all the individual cocktails and beers and whiskey are basically and hard liquors are about roughly 15 credits each.
It was expected.
And then okay, so there's the head tech priest, or there's lesser tech priests, sort of scattered around sort of the far right hand side of the bar. They've taken up about 8 tables at this point. There's normal there's sort of normal bar goers here, and then there's people here specifically for the exotic dancers. But all the people here for the exotic dancers are really down on the lower level pool at the moment. So everybody else seems to be just sort of casually people watching at the moment. They look at you, you look at them. And no malice involved. It's just basically they're sort of looking with detached interest at you. If you're looking at other wacky factions in the bar, let's see here. You do see a group of blue and white robed, blue and white jumpsuited individuals that you're assuming belong to the Temple of Levithian. They look very similar to Temple Guardians that you fought earlier. So you're going, well, those must be Temple security. And then let's see here. And then you see various different aquatic folk with rebreathers on that are continually feeding them oxygenated water. Very, what is it? Two of them sort of look to be the same species as, let's see, where is his name? As Vorcha, that sort of like,
Oh, the tour guy.
sort of very large squid individual. Uh, another sort of looks like Smitty, who's like like a faction of them sort of look like Smitty, who is the probably sea elf, so it's like a sea adapted human. And then there's yet another faction that seems to be crab people.
Crab people.
And then a lot of the servers seem to be that aren't pre-mermaids and tritons or sirens seem to be like Kuatao, i.e. they're more fish than man, let's put it that way, or more fish than woman, as it were. So there's sort of definitely some stratification going on as far as like the type of fish people you are, the class of fish people you are, is the more human you are, is the higher you are up in the food chain. But that's about it. That's what you sort of casually glance at so far.
All right.
Okay, so you're definitely to talk to the tech priest. Do you want to start with talking to them? Talk to some of the servers or other attendees first about them, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, he looks a little preoccupied at the moment, so I will ask one of the servers to pass him a. Do waterproof notes exist, or just like actually? I'm just asking.
You're in an air environment right now. You could just write it on a napkin and say, "Pass this note to him." So.
And I think we're committed to go and deal with those sea creatures at the volcano. So maybe some of us that aren't dealing with the tech guy should be seeing if we can gather any intel on that. Does that?
Yes. Okay, so you've got 3 distinctive groups you can ask about the. None of these people are members of the Hunters Guild, however. So the basically Monster Hunters Guild for all intents and purposes. So you've got temple security, members of the Kraken Syndicate, i.e., the local crime syndicate, which is Vorcha's group,
Right.
which uh, which are probably all the sea folk essentially involved in the bar, and which would probably be the crab people and the squid people. And then you've got the hired help, which are apparently the Kuatao or Sahojin fishmen. And anybody that sort of looks like an actual human or can pass for a human is you're guessing are other guests. So that all the people that look like sea elves and like humans are probably the upper tier elites of this place. Okay, you pass a note essentially saying that you want to meet, have a moment of his time, or what exactly are you asking an audience for with the High Adept?
I have something you should be very interested in, and I would like a moment of your time.
And then did you give a quick, I'm the Birdman sitting by the bar, or what are you doing?
Pretty much, yes. I'm the cybernetic Birdman sitting by the bar.
All right. Okay, your note gets passed to him. The High Adept, you notice his like his monocle obviously refocuses on you as he sort of like uses a telescopic lens to basically get a good look at you.
I give him a courteous bow, not trying to hide, not trying to be shifty or anything.
Okay, I need an intelligence save.
Intelligence save. Oh, also, I would like to cast enhance ability for charisma on myself.
Okay, that's fine.
And
Intelligence save, I can do that.
I will be in Stormcrow's party, so he'll get his +5 for me as well.
Okay, fair enough.
That is a natural 20, so that totals up to 30.
Okay, no problem. You get a ping across all the diagnostics on your cyberware, indicating basically possible security breach. It's like as it's like lights up like a Christmas tree up and down as the tech priest scans your gear.
Oh, and I have the sword in one of the dimensional storage boxes. I don't have it on me, obviously. Well, I have it on me in a box.
You get a quick. You didn't know this was possible, but you create a quick message in your diagnostic, basically that you're seeing in your sort of augmented reality view. It's like you and your friends have an eclectic set of gear. I'd be interested in knowing where you got it. Come over to my table essentially once you finish my drink. Once you finish your drink. Like,
And I'll just nod in his direction while looking at him as like understood.
right. And then he sort of turns back to the plump fish woman on his lap and whispers something to her in her ear as she sort of like waves over to one of the fishmen, and they come by with a sort of like repulsor chair and help her get into it as she floats off into the back room.
I wouldn't want to ruin his good time. After I seeing he's free, I will float my way over to him.
And I will follow.
Please take a seat, robot and Birdman. What can the this humble technician do for you?
I appreciate an audience. I hope I'm not intruding too much. I have something you might be interested in, and was wondering if you'd like to make a sort of deal.
We don't see many high-end mercenaries come through these parts. Essentially, what brings you to Hyrnus? Essentially, what deal do you have?
I have a deal with your order specifically. I've studied the ways of the storm myself, so I have a great respect for both your order and your abilities. And I believe I have found something originally of interest to me, but it is far too large for me to wield.
You just show him the scanner specs on the sword at this point?
Yeah, I don't take it out of the box because obviously,
you show him the basically pictures and scans.
Yeah, I show him the inventory picture of the item that I have.
All right, you show him the scanner specs and a picture of the sword. It's like, I
assume you know what this is.
Oh, I definitely know what that is. My Marine cohorts would have asked for its return immediately. I have no such designs on this item, but what? I assume you want to return it, but Do you want to make me to
Yes,
make the arrangements with the Marines?
in a way, or with you.
And what favors do you want in return? Essentially, I can't assume you're just doing this out of the goodness of your citizen heart.
You would be right, but obviously it belongs with those that created it. So obviously I cannot wield it. It is too large for my frame. I would like something created in return if it is not too much trouble.
I'm sure the Marine chaplain might be willing to make a dispensation for your generous return of a holy artifact. So
Of
I'll
course,
make
but
I'll I'll take your mind if I make a copy of that.
of course you can take
So
a,
he
a copy, if you
copies.
will.
He sort of puts his hand over the holo display, basically, and you see it copy into his local day. You see a copy of it appear in his holo display. It's like, all right. So this is one. The chaplain may have further questions about the providence of this item, how it came to be in your possession,
I
and
have
if he's
nothing to hide.
satisfied, you may not get anything for your generous donation.
Well, I accepted that fate when I found the blade. But
Are you willing to tell me so I can tell the chaplain, or do you wish to tell him in person?
I will tell you, it is not anything I'm afraid of. As you said, we are a group of adventurers, skilled ones at that. We plumbed the depths of the Hades sector on Omicron Study 6 and found your chapter there, corrupted, serving Zinch, and we laid them to rest.
Mm. Do you have holo footage of this battle?
If we don't have holo footage, we definitely have gear that proves we were there, which I
Okay.
believe we should have holo footage.
Well, I'm saying I don't think anybody actually recorded the battle, so it's like, but this is one of those interesting points. So it's like you can, however, I believe you still have like pieces, bits of chaos artifacts that you can show as proof,
Yep, we also
as well
probably
as
have.
as well as the Space Marine armor, which is like
Yeah.
as the tech priest is sort of looking over at Hate at this point. It's like, by the way, I wouldn't have that armor on by the time you head to the sanctuary of the storm. The
Oh, of
chaplain
course
will
not.
definitely take umbrage if you're wearing that.
Oh, of course.
I earned it in honorable combat. It is mine to wear as I see fit.
Well, in that case, the chaplain may challenge you to combat yet again to prove the worthiness of your claim.
Fair enough.
My robot companion here is more than worthy enough, but I'm sure he could prove that himself. Regardless, I just wish to know that
The space
knowing the
wolves are
sword.
harsh in the space wolves are harsh in their ways.
Yes, which is why I did not attempt to bring the sword to the Citadel myself. My apologies for seeking you out.
Well, you brought me an interesting bit of information to ponder. Show me what information you have about your battle or artifacts thereof as you basically exchange information.
Yep, I'll
Roll a
show him like
persuasion check and roll an investigation check to reveal just enough, but not too much.
so persuasion, which I gave myself advantage on. You gotta be shitting me. I rolled 2 2s.
Okay.
I'll give you some inspiration since I still have some.
I probably still have some as well now that I think about it.
Yeah, I'm just floating nearby.
Fuck. I'm gonna use.
Just
I am.
If
I
you
rolled 2 2s, a 4, and then a 5. Fuck me.
do you want another one?
And you said what was it? Investigation check.
okay, and I can give you 5, which would get you up to 10. But if you wanted to use Ryan's inspiration, if we're allowed to do that, it might be,
I've used 2 of my own inspiration myself. I had them marked down, so
Okay.
I'll take another one. Sure.
All right. So
if
how do
you're
we
willing.
do? Sorry, I had to step away for a second.
There we go. Okay, 18 persuasion check,
Right.
and
fine.
then You said investigation as well.
Investigation to choose the right things to say and not discuss essentially that you captured a whole bunch of chaos artifacts and were trying to figure out how to use some of them because the Marines will just be outright basically not good with that, and so will
Yeah.
the tech priests.
18 persuasion, and then I got a 20 investigation. My
Okay,
intelligence is pretty good.
you're fine. You don't let slip any of the details of basically captured chaos artifacts, and that you didn't destroy them immediately. He is genuinely impressed, essentially, that you've destroyed a citadel of siege, and that none of you fell to corruption, essentially. Because you sort of conveniently leave out that like Asgul was possessed by Damon. um, so, well, right, an impressive record indeed. I will pass this to the Space Marine chaplain, and he will choose he will determine the worthiness of your claim. It's like either way, essentially, I'll be sending you back a missive. Do you have a place that you are staying, or a message box you would like me to deliver messages to?
Do I? I don't think we're staying anywhere, are we?
We were given accommodations by the Kraken, but I don't know where they are. But we were given free accommodations while we were here working on
Right.
the creature in the volcano.
Do I know the location of those accommodations?
Yes, you do, but you are also leery of giving them out to the tech priests. Let's put it that way, because they are in the same organization as the Inquisitors, essentially. It's like,
Yeah.
so they're not going to share information, essentially. And with your possible wanted still floating around is not a great plan. So you're probably just like, you can leave a message basically with Vorcha, for instance.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like
He raises a quizzical eye basically when you mention Vorcha's name, essentially. I normally don't do much business with Vorcha except to basically resupply, but stay well clear of Vorcha. He'll get you into deep trouble around here with the Kraken Syndicate.
Yes, he is just a convenient face at the moment.
He makes a humph sound, and it's like, well, please enjoy yourselves. Essentially, this is one of the quieter sanctuaries within Uranus that if you're not in the resorts. as he motions for his companion to be returned to him, and it's like and nods to you. Essentially, your meeting is over.
Mm-hmm. I am done. Thank you for the accompaniment, Hate.
Okay. All right. So you've got your missive off to the chaplain of the Space Wolves Marines. You're wondering if the Space Wolves are one of those chapters that their Primarch, i.e., the head of their order, is deceased. But you don't dare ask those questions to anybody of the Space Wolves. Let's put it that way.
That'd basically be like, hey, how's your... It's like, yeah, it could be either offending or insulting. One of the two.
All right,
Anything,
so
I'd maybe try to look it up in the Imperial database node we have, but that's for a later time.
Yes. All right, you gather back up at the bar. There's still 200 credits that need to be spent here for drinks. The company is pleasant. The strippers are not super pushy, though they do
Well,
zoom
they,
by. They do zoom by on on sort of like repulsor belts every so often and see if you want a lap dance.
That's the other, maybe the strippers would know who would know about the creature in the volcano. If anybody wants to ask a stripper who would be
I feel
good
like
for us
that's
to-
also offensive to assume.
Well, no, the strippers will do a lot for money. Let's
and
put it
they
that
know
way. That's,
they know who's in here. They should. They probably have a very good idea of who knows what in here.
Asgol will purchase a show.
Okay. So you spend 100 credits on quote unquote lap dances. The Go ahead and roll a persuasion check to get the information you need from an exotic dancer.
Persuasion, I can't use investigation.
Hey, I'm Ariel. What's your name? So,
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Purple.
no.
My persuasion is 5.
okay. Do you want to use an inspiration in that or no?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead and reroll.
Uh, not better. 8.
8. Okay. She goes, yeah, I really don't know much
How many?
about what you're talking about. It's like, but I can tell you essentially, Dorgo, the one of the head monster hunters, comes by often. You might even see him this evening. Maybe you can ask him in person.
Thank you, miss.
And speaking of Dorgo, this like goon of a sea ogre like wanders on through the front. He's even bigger than the bouncers outside. It's like he looks like some mix of like a troll and because he has like sharp, sort of small, needly teeth, little beady eyes, like big fins for ears. So it's like you're not quite sure what sort of sea sentient sea life he is, but he effectively is a brute. It's like he's wearing sort of something that looks like a scaled loincloth and a like armored bandolier that goes over from his left shoulder to sort of right middle around his girdle. He's like he wanders on in, wades straight into the pool, wanders straight up to the stage, and makes a sort of leering smile over at the at the dancer, the pole dancer on the stage, who swims up to him, gives him a big smooch on the lips, and basically swims back and does whatever she's doing. As you can see, Dorgo basically like feed like a good chunk of swag of credit, slug of credits basically into her tip jar. And then he sits down on one of those tiny stools, like right next to the right next to the stage. It's like, and it just looks ridiculous.
I will purchase a drink and go over and offer it to Dorgo.
Looks like you're gonna have to purchase 2 drinks, so you need to spend like 30 credits essentially
Okay.
because he's huge. He's like he's easily like 20% bigger than even Hate is. So
Okay, I'll purchase 2 drinks and wander over to him.
okay, you scoot over to drink and get one of those like uh super big gulp basically glasses with a straw in it and zoom on and then swim into the pool next to Drogo. It's like Dorgo. It's like, hey little man.
Greetings. I'm seeking to hunt a monster, and I was told that you might have information on a monster.
You're in the right place. I love killing monsters.
So I'm seeking the was it the Kraken from over there, and I relayed the information about what I was told to go hunt.
Oh, the Rift Kraken. Yeah. It's, crawled itself out of the depths essentially recently. Destroyed a whole undersea habitat, then retreated back. It's like nasty business that we're gonna have to get together a big crew. But I heard word on the grapevine is some adventure group basically took the bounty. Like that wouldn't happen to be you, would it? You look kind of scrawny.
I'm gonna play off my squad leader. I'm just an
I walk up behind Asgul and say hello to him.
Imperial. You guys together?
Yes, I'm Ronan.
All right. I have greater confidence that you won't die then, little man.
And my pet,
over at school. It's like,
my pet comes up sauntering, like rolling up next to me.
hey, it's like holocron. I haven't seen one of these in like an age. Essentially, as he pokes it with one of his big, fat meaty fingers. It's like,
I wouldn't poke it.
Your holocron is basically like the size of a beach ball, but it looks like the size of basically a volleyball against his hand. It's like as he sort of
I
pokes
wouldn't
it a
really
little bit.
poke
It's
it.
like,
My
I
pet
heard
doesn't
these
really
things are
like being
kind of
poked.
cool. So,
So
As
you
my
want to?
pet starts to
he holds
wind
out
up
his
Ken,
hand to shake your hand. It's like, what's your name?
I'm Ronan.
Well met. He grabs your hand and gives it a hearty squeeze.
I give it a squeeze back.
That's very hard to do. You can't even reach around his hand. It's just like this is more along the lines of basically you have some fingers around two of his fingers. It's
He's
like
that big.
he is that big. Basically, he's 10 feet
Damn.
tall. He's the size of an ogre.
Oh,
uh,
then
so
I'm an elf.
he's looking down to a lot of the two of you. It's like, all right, well, what you want to know about the Rift Kraken? Essentially, I haven't crossed tridents with it, but I can tell you of their kind.
I'm assuming that won't a cup of tea won't convince you to go away. Would you help us expedite our deaths? Where's its location, and how may we challenge it?
Well, he's going. Well, the Rift is this huge, deep canyon that's supposedly it's one of those continental rifts that where the continents are tectonic plates are separating. So they're just this huge, deep canyon, miles deep. No one's ever been to the bottom of it, as far as I know, but nasty sea creatures come out of it on the regular, probably at least one a year. Uh, Monsters Guild usually gets an expeditionary force together. It takes us a couple months, and then we go take care of business. Uh, uh, every so often, there's a group like you that comes through that experienced mercenaries with good gear that sometimes can take on these tasks for the underboss. So I assume essentially you've already talked to the underboss at this point. So maybe about 50% of them succeed. But a Rift Kraken, as big as a small cargo hauler, so he's basically indicating it's roughly probably about 100-foot long, stem to stern, sort of like critter. Tentacles basically that can dismantle like medium-sized buildings without too much problem. So i.e. is a colossal sized creature. So anyways, they have great command over lightning and electricity. Essentially, general area around them is usually heavily charged with electricity, enough to give you a really really bad shock or stun you if you either get contacted by the tentacles or are just in close proximity to the core of its body. The
So cut off tentacles. Got it.
cutting off tentacles is a good start. It's just like a normal squid. It has it basically has 6 normal tentacles, 2 extra long ones. And due to its overall size, basically it has ridiculous reach. We're talking about easily being able to reach almost like 200 feet with its longer tentacles. So I was like, being in basically reach of it is like a highly subjective term. Let's put it that way. So, like even with our good range weapons and like underwater sleds with torpedoes, you're still probably within its reach, quote unquote. So, uh, other than that, for us, it's just a battle of attrition. Essentially, eventually, it's like we either take it down or it takes our expeditionary force down. There aren't many. We don't have much in the way of like sophisticated tactics other than shooting in the eye, or try to get in an vent hole, or try to shoot up its beak so it can't chew you up. Basically, once it got you with a tentacle. So that's my advice to you.
You not
Tough as nails. Essentially, it's like all their internal organs are probably looking at probably 50, 60 feet worth of like rubbery, like armored flesh to get through. Before you even start hitting internal organs. So that's why it generally takes so long. Essentially, a lot of the fight is just spent wearing holes down in its armor to where we can get at something vital like a lung or an eye or something.
Do harpoons work and such?
If you want to stick it yourself to the critter, sure, they work just fine. But you're not pulling that thing anywhere. Like it'll pull you somewhere, but not the other way around.
Oh no, not with not harpoons with with ropes attached to it. We're not going to pull it anywhere, as in like shooting it and trying to injure it.
Oh yeah, we generally we put in basically a full requisition with the Kraken Syndicate for torpedoes and micro torpedoes. So, i.e., he's pretty much saying underwater rocket launchers for all intents and purposes. So,
Anything I could use to modify Poppy here as I pat my cannon.
I don't know. You can just. There's also a mining division here that's run by the Temple of the Leviathan. They mine vital minerals out of the seabed around here. They might have mining explosives that might be useful to you if you just want to strap them onto your buddy there.
I mean, will the explosives work?
Oh yeah, if it's like the Kraken isn't too picky about what it eats. It'll try to swallow anything. So if you put a bomb on some bait, I'm sure it'll swallow it up just fine. And
We
then you can remote detonate it and hopefully get it on the inside. It's either that or you're gonna probably have to swim into the thing basically and try to fight it from the inside. It's like I'm sure it's squishier on the inside than it is on the out. It's like it has extremely good armored shell.
What were you going to say, Mina?
Oh, I was wondering if there's any sort of like a diving unit that we can use, or we need to swim down, or
Like a submarine?
yeah, because if we set off explosives, we need to be far enough away that we don't bleed from the ears too.
Well, I'm sure the Syndicate has the submarines. If you're hiring on with the underboss, essentially, he can probably get you those things. Um, the explosives and the munitions and explosives are probably going to have to be up to you, but I'm sure he'll provide you some transport. It's not like he would expect you to swim 50 miles out there and what is it, 100 kilometers out there basically by yourselves. That would be ridiculous.
Okay, that seems like the right thing. What do you guys use when you go after them?
Well, we usually have micro subs and torpedo launchers, and so we're usually using vehicle weapons. So, and even then, we usually lose about half of the fleet and the people in them whenever we do this. So,
Is there a diagram on anatomy? Has one of these things washed up on shore and been operated on?
no, not really. Essentially, what generally happens is they get disabled and fall back into the rift, and it's like they're like hundreds and hundreds of tons. It's not exactly easy for us to recover them once that happens. We have some bits of like tentacles and that sort of stuff in the Monster Hunter Museum if you want to go take a look at it. Uh, but most of our souvenirs are from smaller critters, essentially, that we've hunted over time that it's reasonable to bring back trophies on. We've never successfully brought back a whole Kraken at this point.
Maybe this will be the first.
Well, you'll have to lure it away from the rift, and the Krakens often like to stay close to the rift, as we don't know why, but they do.
Any idea why it wandered away from the rift and destroyed a settlement if it doesn't like
Well,
to?
this is one of those things. The Hieronist settlements keep on creeping out towards the rift, just because this is where the mining operations are good. Essentially, all the precious minerals that the Leviathan Church mines that support a large portion of the economy of Hieronist all come from basically tectonic activity, essentially from the rift. So the rift itself is continuously sort of spewing out useful minerals like gold and Xylite that is being shipped off planet all the time. So this is where the money is. So that's why that's why civilization keeps on creeping up on the rift over so often.
Hmm.
I'm kind of liking the idea of killing it from the inside and preserving as much of the corpse as possible.
Right. Well, if you do that, you have to be careful, essentially, that you don't get dragged down into the depths when you kill it, though. So
Good point.
you may need to basically make some arrangements like buoyancy devices or something to or like heavy repulsors, or like having a cargo ship basically on standby to keep it from falling back into the depths once you kill it.
That's I think where the harpoons will come in handy. Shoot the harpoons down from the cargo ship, and then kill it from the inside, then haul it up.
That's that sounds like a plan. So if you're looking to hire on a whaler for all quote unquote whaler for all intents and purposes, the Monster Hunters Guild is at your service. We will need something along the lines of 5,000 credits to book our ship.
How about a share of the profits from the sale of the corpse if we do manage to collect it as whole?
I'm on board, but keep in mind if this mission fails and we basically don't manage to collect the corpse, I would still expect at least 2,500 in compensation. That's assuming our whaler doesn't get damaged.
Hey, you were just saying that your Monsters Guild was going to have to deal with this thing one way or another sooner or later, so we're offering you
But
our.
later could be months and months later. Essentially, it's a minor colony at this point, and the major mining facilities is still yours. Is still relatively far away. So,
If you do it now, you'd have our assistance as well.
all right. Well, if things go basically pear shaped, I expect you basically at least to pay damages to our whaling ship. So
That seems fair.
we won't expect you to basically pay death rights to any of the guild members. That's what dues are for. So
So this is what we want to do. We want to go after this kraken.
Um,
Retrieving an intact corpse could be profitable, more so than before.
what when we talked to the syndicate told us they would give us, I think it was $500 each,
it's
plus
500 credits plus all room and board for the rest
plus
of your
all
time
of our
here on here.
accommodation. Plus, they set up this meeting for Crow for free, and that would have also been 500. So if we think 500 per person for accommodations while we're here, plus the 500 for the meeting,
And
plus
you also got to remember the ruling body of Uranus, which is the Church of Leviathan, probably
mhm.
has bounty on the Rift Kraken somewhere. You could probably just go look it up and claim it.
Yeah, I think we decided that we probably did need to do this while we were waiting to sort things out with Crow.
Okay.
Unless, and James out of game unless you have any reservations about that.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Okay, so all right. So when do people think you're gonna get on this, as it were?
I think as soon as possible if we can.
All
Well,
right,
not tonight, but yeah, maybe tomorrow.
I'll have it.
We need to make a plan.
Okay, I'll have the I'll have the Sea's Bane ready. Essentially, our submarine ready at in roughly about 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So try to see what extra munitions essentially you can get for yourself in the meantime. So and a bomb, of course. Bomb would be really good. Bomb really.
Hey, Lawrence, would this abyssal kraken count as an aberration, or is it still just like an animal, but a really big one?
Uh, it's probably considered a monstrosity. So
Got it.
it's not an aberrant creature, but it is considered a monstrosity. So it's like a magical creature of some sort. So it's not considered a beast. Okay, so Okay, so there is. You can talk to Vorcha at this point and see if you can arrange some explosives. You could go talk to the Miners Guild and see if there's
Some ways to upgrade Poppy.
if some way of getting basically mining explosives. They're probably not going to be as compact as military explosives, but that being said, essentially you could probably get a lot of it, provided depending on how much money you want to spend. So. And sort of asking around, like to the bartender, the CL bartender, it's like, yeah, the crab people are actually the miners, so you can go and talk to them.
Who wants to talk blowing up things?
Um, Hate can go do that if you want him to talk to the miners guild.
I'll go
All
with
right,
you if you want, but my
you
charisma's
go to
like
the crab.
still.
You go to the crab people. It's like, you not from around here.
That is correct.
You dealing in precious materials. We can sell some off the side if you that is something you are interested in.
We've recently taken on a contract to kill a very large creature, a
Oh,
kraken.
you're looking to kill Rift Kraken, so you're looking for explosives.
So we
That's
are looking for explosives.
all right. Uh, Selling explosive is regulated essentially, so selling to you would be illegal. It's like, can you make it worth our while, basically, to do illegal stuff?
Depends on what you mean by worthwhile.
He clacks his claws together, basically, to indicate credits.
I'm not out of character. I'm not entirely sure how many credits the party has left amongst itself after spending all that on IDs that are apparently necessary. So I don't know what our budget is.
I have 500 left out of character.
And I have
I
two.
have 500 left.
I probably have about 1,000 left.
I could pitch in 500.
So about
Okay, so you could probably pitch in about $2,000 before you start really biting into like living expenses sort of deal.
Right, because I think we have food and accommodations from the Kraken, right?
Yeah, food and accommodations are crafting, but it's just like there's still like general like pocket expenses that you probably pay,
Oh, yeah.
like just what you've done just right now, like entertainment and like bribery and other things essentially. So you probably should leave some in reserve. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
Probably put in about $2,000 before it really is dire. So that's your budget.
We might want to ask if there's anything that they need us to do too. And I mean, maybe there's a trade. Maybe they need something repaired. Mina is available to repair if they need mining equipment or if they need something repaired.
so
Hey,
Hate will
Tinker, a little.
take that subject as well. Services as opposed to credits.
Yeah, if we've
All
got
right.
3 or 4 days anyway, right?
Our engineer got crushed by Boulder. Our engineering group got crushed by Boulder recently in landslide. So, yes, engineering good. We can use some engineering assistance. How many of your group are engineers?
3.
Ah, that
Sort
is
of.
very good, essentially. So, we get you explosive, you give us services rendered for fixing mining equipment. 1 week.
Does that sound fair to the rest of the party?
Yes.
We were planning
I
on
have no.
going in 3 to 4 days, I think, right?
That's fine, essentially. It's like you just need to serve 1 week of repair duties for our guild.
I think we could do that after we
Well, should we
Also,
do
there,
2 days for a down payment?
Well, we got 3 to 4 days before the main ship is ready to go, anyhow. So they'll give you some time to get started.
Yeah.
yeah, you show us what you can do, and you not break our equipment, and then if we are satisfied with repairs, we get you explosives.
That seems fair.
Okay, so all the engineers in your party, you show up like quote unquote bright and early the next morning. There's huge like claw crab like excavators, where their sort of front claws are basically these sort of excavating shovels and drills. Uh, you can see there's this huge landslide where it looks like the whole half of a mountain fell down into the general ravine where all the mining equipment is. You can see at least half a dozen excavators that are half buried. Some of their joints are twisted off, or it like twisted badly. You can see exposed power cores, at least in two of them. Are going, oh, this is going to be an ugly repair job. And they're here. Expect you know how to use basically exocraft, which is basically one of those aliens power loaders. Like Gus, you show them basics of how to navigate exoloader underwater, as they basically show you the 3D maneuvering thrusters on an exocraft, and then Gus shows basically this is how you lock down the craft to the ground and lock it in so that basically you can actually lift things. It's all relatively straightforward. It's just a matter. There's just lots of steps involved as you're all sort of like as some of you, your eyes are glazing over, and some of you are basically going, "Yeah, yeah, I get it." So I need intelligence plus proficiency checks. So for everybody who's learning how to pilot an exosuit,
So you need a check, right? Um,
yes,
and that has to do with equipment, right? Because I
yes, that
get
definitely has to do equipment.
okay, because I get double proficiency in those. Um,
Oh, that's terrible.
so that's a 24 for Mina.
Okay,
2, 4. Our proficiency is 4 right now, so 6 total.
My proficiency is 2 in that, and it's 18.
18. Okay, so you just need 15 or better. Asgol sort of flunks the initial, basically pilot certification on the exosuit. So like the Gus is going, not letting you out in exosuit. It's like each exosuit, 10 grand worth of equipment. Can't afford to have more stuff broken. So you two, fine. He can just carry he just latch onto the back of one of you and basically run welding equipment.
Okay, that sounds fine. He can ride with me.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
Lauren.
Extra. There's a plasma welders there. Extra materials basically for spars and welding over here. Essentially, extra basically replacement boards where basically anything is fried on the excavators in that shack over there. Essentially, I'm assuming you can find your way around. I come back in 6 hours. I'm hoping to see at least some of these other at least one or two of the excavators that is not actually buried all the way under and only has minor damage to be fixed up by then. You go to it.
I think we can take care of that for you. Um, I'm thinking maybe what we do first is survey a few of them and see what damages it is, and then we can see what equipment we need. Maybe we start with the ones that look like they're the least damaged, and then proceed in the direction of the ones that are most damaged. Does that sound
Sure.
reasonable?
I need a survival and a nature check as all this is everything is basically buried under this basically rather unstable looking debris field where it looks like more heavy rocks could slide loose at any time basically and cause you troubles. So
Well,
you're trying to figure out what is the safest one to basically start working on or if there's a way to stabilize the debris field.
was that a
Is this
survival or a
all
nature?
underwater?
Yes, it's all underwater.
And
Can I
Can I?
survival, Mina?
well, is it a nature or a survival, or is it both?
It's either. So
Either. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do a
I
nature
got.
because that's a lot better.
Oh, well, I can't help you, Nate.
Oh shit. Okay, so that's a 12, and then I'll dump a 5 on it,
okay,
so that'll
so
take it to 17.
Asgul, you're at advantage essentially because this is sort of like a wilderness sort of type of thing to be checking, is like to survey the land. Uh,
Want me to do a survival check then?
yeah, survival at advantage.
Okay.
I got a nat 20 on survival.
Way to
Okay, so
go.
and then let's see how
Wow,
Asgul does here.
horrible. Okay, I got 6 and 9 is 15, and I got 3 well, 2 alloys, so that is 17. I'm using a
Okay,
saving
no
throw.
problem. All right, so a lot of you survey the debris field, looking at the 6 excavators that are buried. 2 of them are like really, really trashed. Essentially, that's going to take. If you're lucky, you'll get to it. You'll get them at least only get them partially working by the end of the 7-day contract. The 4 of them look like salvageable, and 4 of them look salvageable. 2 of them look only lightly damaged, i.e., they basically sort of have only some structural damage, i.e., their main actuators and electronics did, and control center and power core didn't get damaged. Those two look like the best. Look like the best chance there. The survival checks you're looking at, both of them, however, are like precariously perched under basically a lot of rock that looks like it could possibly fall down. And then, Tirshan, what was your thought?
I'm gonna let them go at it, and then if anything starts going wrong, I can cast control water and redirect flow. So like, I can essentially like bust up the rocks from below, like not bust up, but like redirect flow so it's up. So it's almost like reverse gravity, but it's underwater.
All right. Well,
But that's only if anything goes wrong. It's sort of just like a just in case.
Thanks, dude.
okay. All right. Let's see. Tirshan, go ahead and make a nature or survival check of your own.
It's the same for either one, so I'll just go with survival. 22.
Nice.
You're of the opinion, essentially, any sort of serious work, like attaching the exocraft down and basically starting having to do riveting and basically moving heavy objects, like moving the debris out of the way, is probably going to cause this debris pile to shift. With sort of predictable results of causing like large amounts of rock to fall down the slope. So,
So it'd be best to remove them from the debris pile first.
it'd be best to basically try to stabilize the debris pile first, rather than start working and then basically having to make deck saves to basically keep from getting crushed.
Hate can help with that.
Okay. All right. Hate gets in there and starts heaving on some boulders and tossing them over to the side. Tirshan uses control water to shove some of these. I guess you can even do some of the bigger debris because you can move tons of water around using control water. So, okay, so I need an Arcana check for you and then an Athletics check for Hate.
25.
Okay, no problem.
Nice.
Also 25.
All right.
Nice.
So you don't manage to destabilize you stabilize the debris field. You've gotten all the like major big bits of rock. It takes almost like 2 hours worth of like continuous work to get that done. Like, Tirshan is basically, I see. So I guess that's 2 control waters. It's an hour each, right?
Yeah, sure. Works for me.
Yeah.
So in the
All right.
meantime, Mina has like surveyed what's going on and gone and collected materials and boards and supplies for the.
So I need, for your 3 engineers, I need 2 Arcana rolls apiece.
Okay.
All right. Nothing above a 10 tonight.
Is
so
that's a-
Evray offline?
Another natural 20. 22.
I don't think so. Let me see if we're still following Evray or not.
I got a 19 and a 20.
Mina got a 17 and a 23, so she needs to dump 5 on that 17. She can.
Okay, hold on. Looks like I need to resubscribe Avray to the channel. Hold on a second.
We need to update too since
That's kind of what we're talking about.
we leveled up since we updated probably. Um,
I think I took expertise in that.
Oh, and Lawrence, you need to change the server name from Modern Guards to Stars Without End because it's just wrong.
Okay.
so if you want, I can change the name. I can make a new YouTube channel that starts without end and start putting this stuff up on there, and then we'll all match. Is that what we want?
Whatever makes you work harder and longer, definitely.
It's not that big a deal. We've only got 2 recordings so far, so it's okay. Ronan, what were your rolls?
Natural 20 and an 18.
Nice.
So a 22 and 18.
I'll tell you what, I'll be right back too while we're doing this.
No, Avray is actually down at the moment. So
That would explain it.
yeah.
I mean, it was working for Tree a second ago.
Yeah, I think it's a recent thing.
Yeah, it'll go down every now and then.
Yeah, but it says that Avray is offline, so it's like though it is still subscribed to the server, so I'm assuming they're just like it's offline at the moment,
Right.
Probably updating something.
possibly. I don't know. It's one of those weird things. It's just like I've tried writing like an Avray bot. It's just like it's all sorts of wonky as far as how it's described. So I'm just like, and all the services where you can host your Avray bot on their server, essentially, they've come up with some like really weird frameworks that aren't particularly easy to use. So
So, when I change everything over, shall I just go ahead and make the recordings public so that you can share the links with your friends if you want to, or would you like me to still keep it unlisted so it's only people with the link that can have it?
I'm fine with it being public if everybody else
Yeah, I'm
is.
fine with it being public.
Yeah, either or. I don't mind public. That's fine.
I
Ryan,
don't care.
James?
That's fine.
Okay. I'll let you know. That will make it easier. I've been talking about this game and the previous campaign for like a year, so all of my friends are like, "What happened this week?" Now,
Okay, so let me grab my actual dice here. All right. All right, so I got my dice. So let's see here. All right, let's see. Your target number was 18. Did we get any failures? I think
Mina
everybody
got
succeeded.
117, but she can put a 5 on that, so that'd pick it up to
Okay.
I got an 18 and a 22.
All right. It's close. It takes you like the full 4 hours to even repair one of these guys. And a lot of that time is just generally spent like moving stone away from the legs of the spider of the crab excavator. Uh, the then you're spending a whole bunch of time welding reinforcements on like twisted pieces of like a actuator arm and putting like metal shielding around basically the damage areas. The It's not pretty work by any stretch of the imagination, but it should be durable and functional and not required to be patched again at least for a year or so.
Excellent.
Is it, in all your expert opinions as various engineers. It turns out that Asgol actually being free of an exosuit is actually pretty useful because the exosuits themselves are kind of like bulky and hard to direct, but they are necessary for like manipulating like tons worth of excavator arm and an actuator and like 500 pounds of rebar, 500-pound I beams, and so on. As one of you is operating an exosuit, and Asgul can climb up there and swim up there, basically weld the either end off. The Gus comes back, is like, good, good. Like, we take it out. I take this one out for a spin. Let's see how your repairs hold up. As he extricates the crab digger the rest of the way out of the muck and debris, starts moving away starts using this excavator to move away some of the debris expertly over into smaller piles on the side from the debris field, so and further stabilizing the mound, so it's looking like you can get to the next two without too much problem. He spends the next 2 hours doing this. At this point, just like it's been 8 hours worth of being out here in the field, a relatively hard labor because it's like even with the exosuits, essentially you have to put some oomph into basically manipulating the exosuit arms because they don't give you as much sort of like mechanical advantage as you'd hope. So it's like you're still having to lift around 40 or 50-pound objects over and over and over again. So all your arms are a little torched at this point, and so is your concentration. The your Gus seems to be really good at operating these excavator crab bots. And it's like, I keep on working on this for next 5-6 hours. You guys go ahead and take break. Be back in 6-7 hours.
That sounds reasonable. Thanks for helping us clear all this stuff out of the way, Gus. It will be a lot easier to fix these things without all that debris around them.
Yes, of course.
Do you have any feedback? So we repaired this one and you've been using it. Do you have any feedback that we can use as we repair the rest of them?
Good. Nothing. It's like Gus holds up the like or waves the like broken arm. It's like that you've patched up. It's like good as new.
Very
Hey,
good.
Lauren, I have
These
a
are very
question.
good excavators. I was impressed with the quality. Well done.
Yeah. Church of Levithian can afford best equipment, which is great. Keeps down on down on worksite incidents. It's like last head of church was real piece of work. Always basically used lowest bidder, so equipment was breaking all the time. People got crushed very bad.
I'm glad it's better. These seem like they're good, and I can tell that this landslide was unexpected. So we'll do what we can.
Speaking of the landslide, you're wondering, it's like, if you should go look at the top of basically the landslide and see if this was just tectonic activity or if there was something else that caused this.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Lawrence, I got a question.
Yep.
During my week working with these guys, I am going to try and pocket some sort of Tinker Omni tool or something. I'm trying to acquire a Tinker's kit.
Oh, I can probably make that for you, dude.
So if you just want a Tinker's kit, you can just go buy one, probably for about 50 creds. Essentially, this is like basic tooling. If you want to, the things that might be interesting to type off the basically off the mining team basically is is a portable geology scanner. So these would allow you to look at the material composition of basically rocks and stone, which may or may not be useful for in basically criminal activity in the future if you basically need to know the composition of a wall or how thick a wall is. So, i.e., it's basically like geological sonar. So, and you're surprised at how that's like this is really good equipment. It's just like they're relatively small. It's only about the size of a toolbox, so it's like maybe a foot and a half long and foot wide, foot tall, essentially. So the equipment is relatively compact, but it'd be really useful, basically, to sort of look through walls, X-ray vision style.
I was figuring I got a week worth of work. I could try and get something subtly, best opportunity.
Okay, so you basically try to liberate one of these things. I need 2 stealth rolls and 2 sleight of hand rolls. Your DC is 20. They keep that stuff locked up, so it's not exactly super easy to get to. So, but given you have access to the site the whole week, you're figuring it's like you're taking your time and bidding for the right opportunity.
Okay, one stealth is 22.
Okay.
Sweet.
And then the other one is 11
Okay.
for stealth.
Okay, then sleight of hand.
Okay, how many sleight of hands?
2.
Okay, so that's 13. Okay, 13 and 19 is 20, 32.
You're fine on the first one.
13 plus 11 is 4.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right. There is some suspicion, essentially. Yeah. So it is noticed that like a relatively expensive piece of relatively expensive geological scanner goes missing out of one of the excavators. Uh, but there's sort of the rhubarb discussion amongst the crab miners that is just like, yeah, we could have misplaced it when we went to go salvage equipment off the excavators that got really wrecked on the far side of the mining field. So it's like they're discussing among themselves, essentially, just like Gus and the foreman are discussing among themselves. It's like, did we misplace that, or it's like, or did it actually grow feet and walk off the lot? Is it like, then they're unsure at this point, but it doesn't get determined by the time you're until you're long gone. Let's put it that way.
So
Do
let's
I-
not liberate anything else that's noticeable. So we have plausible denial, right?
Nope, that's all I needed.
No, that's good,
Okay.
and that should work well with that tool that Crow got too. So
Yeah. So
I like that.
if you do some work, essentially, you might be able to integrate the 2 pieces of survey equipment and basically actually have X-ray vision. So at least up to a certain range. Essentially, it obviously doesn't have infinite range, but it's just like still relatively short range devices. But it might be useful.
And then we were going to go look at the top of the landslide area and see if we could tell if it was natural or caused by something,
Or caused by a critter or otherwise
sabotage or something.
sabotage. You go up there.
Can I help her investigate?
Yeah, sure. I need total of 4 investigation rolls, so give me 2 apiece.
Okay, great.
Can I do
Your DC is 18.
two? So one is. Where's my investigation?
That's not great. I got a 12 and an 11. I'm not sure that
Okay.
I'm ready to burn inspiration on this one.
All right, so I got a 29 and a 20.
That's
Okay.
much better.
All right, so Mina is poking around a rock, and at the top of the debris field, the she sort of peers over the top of the ledge, essentially. So this is like a short-ish mountain, underwater mountain. You go up to the top of the mountain and look over the other side. It looks like, yeah, it definitely looks like the whole front face of this mountain like sheared off and slid down. But you notice like all sorts of like holes in the side of the mountain here, as if they've been burrowed through by some underwater critter. Uh, and about that period of time is like Asgul is like, hey, isn't that a Levithian spawn? As about the same period of time as Mina basically gets grabbed and like sucked into one of these holes. Well, actually, I should make sure it
I'm
actually
going
hits.
to shout
Yes,
out.
Mina does get grabbed and sucked into one of these holes. You take what is it? You take 15 points of piercing damage as a Levithian stun like clamps down on your leg and sucks you into like a moray eel into its lair.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Me and my fish will follow suit.
Okay, you zoom into the hole after it's relatively narrow. There's just a sort of enough room for Mina to like clog up the entryway. As you can see, Mina's hands and face as she's like grabbing for the sides of the tunnel to keep from getting dragged further. Make an athletics check essentially to keep from getting dragged further, Mina.
Okay. Um, just a second.
Can my fish aid her in that?
Yes, but Mina will have to take like 5 damage and piercing because your fish doesn't basically have like a soft bite. Let's put it that way. It doesn't have hands or anything to basically or tentacles to help with. So just gonna have to bite on her basically and pull back.
Okay, and so that was athletics, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, and okay, that's a 20.
Okay, so you managed to grab a hold of something and keep yourself from sliding on further. You take an additional 3 points of damage, basically, as Asgul's fish, basically, which looks like this very long tooth gar, clamps down on your shoulder plate and yanks back the other way. It's like, ow, that hurt. But you're stable in the tunnel at this point, and whatever it is at the other side is still chewing on your foot for an additional 5 points of damage. It's like,
Okay.
as you're trying to kick it loose. Go ahead and make me either acrobatics or athletics at this point to break its grasp.
Okay. I was just making sure I was up on my points. Okay, so that's a 22.
Hey, no problem. You kick free of it basically and engage your repulsor field and like pop forward in the tunnel like a cork. Floating up to the surface of the water. You shoot back out the front of the tunnel with the gar still attached to your shoulder plate. Asgul getting startled as he was just about to enter the tunnel himself. It's like as Asgul is like violently waving for you to basically swim up and away at the moment. As you can see, dozens of like Levithian spawn, like their heads beginning to bob in and out of tunnels looking for prey. So you're basically Asgul is looking at this. This must be a spawning bed. It's like, well, we should report this to the miners, and perhaps can have the Monsters Guild basically drive these spawn off. Though I'm betting essentially these will be considered holy animals to the Church of Levithian.
Well, it certainly explains why it crashed down, and I think we need to be on the lookout for them if we're going to be working in the area.
If we're going to work in this area, I expect hazard pay.
Yeah, hazard pay, or they need to clear them out, I think. I wonder if the monastery place, the temple knows that they're here.
Well, the temple
Because
may or may not know they're here, but you report back to the foreman as just like there's a Levithian spawning bed like right at the top of the mountain, which is probably why the mountain came down to begin with. It's got all riddled like Swiss cheese, and eventually it crumbled. It's like, all right, we'll contact the Church of Levithian. They have Levithian wranglers that basically can relocate a nest. So I don't
That's
think
what I
that'll
was
be
going
much of
to
a
ask.
problem.
If we could ask them if they could relocate the Leviathan.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. You come back. You come back the next day. The For like 6 to 8 hours later. The and Sort of uh, busily start working on the next excavator. So what is it? Two Arcana checks each for our engineers. The And then Hate, who is keeping watch at the moment, perception check. Two perception checks.
Okay, so two Arcana, you said?
Two Arcana, yeah.
Okay.
And then Tearshawn likewise two perception checks.
So I got a
Perception, got it.
29 and a 16, but I can turn that into a 21 if I
Let's.
need to.
How many people
DCs are
do I
still
have with?
18 in this case.
Okay, so yeah, I did.
How many allies do I have within 30 feet of me?
Say again?
How many allies do I have within 30 feet of me?
Two.
Okay, so that's
18 and 29.
Taking 29. Okay. So Hate and Tearshawn, who are looking up the slope this whole time and just looking around the general area to make sure there's nothing dangerous going on. You can see the Leviathan Rangers, a blue and white, like sleek-looking manta ray looking like sub, has sort of settled in over the Leviathan spawn field, and you can see them sort of wandering around with some sort of devices that even from this long away distance, you can hear like some sort of ultrasonic or sonic weapon going off. As you can see, Leviathan basically exiting out of their tunnels and like swimming away off into the distance. And then they sort of go to the next tunnel and basically focus their equipment on that one, forcing the next Leviathan spawn to basically pop out of its nest. About the period of time, you see something large, something shadows the whole area you're in, like swimming up basically closer to the surface. You guys are probably about 200 to 300 feet below the surface of the water at this point, but you can see something monstrous and serpentine, like sort of zip along the surface at this point. It's like,
The mother.
and you're sort of like judging. You're sort of trying to judge scale and see if it's just like some trick of the light or something. No, whatever that it is huge. It's like, and you have a strong, strong suspicion that's an actual Leviathan scooting along the surface of the water. And then you have another extremely bad feeling as the shadow basically turns around and basically starts coming back.
I'll warn everybody that Mama's coming home.
You can see about that period of time. You can see the small little like people like probably about 50 yards up slope from you guys, basically running back, basically putting on their basically underwater repulsors and jetting back to the sub. And the sub basically the blue and white sub beginning to warm up and turn around and start to head away. There are still miners out in the fields, however, at this point. So, what are you guys doing?
Do we have access to the demolitions that we were going to get paid for?
There is a shack labeled basically explosives, so that must be where the explosives are kept. So you could get to them, even if you didn't ask for them quite yet. But you could always just the foreman's right there. You can basically say, "Can we use the explosives now?"
Yeah, and let's have him call all the miners in. Or go
Okay,
to a
so you
safe
tell the
place.
miners like you
Hey, Mama's here.
warn the foreman there. The Leviathan Mama has come to basically check on her nest. Basically, we need to get all your miners out of here right now. Uh, as everybody can hear, as there's this horrible, like high in the ultrasonics level screech as everybody's like fillings shake. As
I'm
it
going
sounds like
to
the worst whale song you've ever heard in your life.
I'm going to ask Mina to see if she can get to that demolitions cabinet and make us a bomb.
Okay.
in case we have to do something right now.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we were going to do it anyway, so we might as well do it now.
Yeah.
We can test it out and see how it works. Now, do you think the temple's going to be happy with us if we blow up one of their Leviathan, or we don't really care at this point?
Well, we do have fake IDs.
It's true, we do. Um,
Yes, wanted criminal McLovin.
Yeah.
yeah, we need really good AKAs, I think. I don't-
Okay.
Shifty McFarkle or something like that.
Okay. So all of you sort of like hover up into the water, get ready for battle. The Leviathan begins to the shadow above essentially begins to resolve into this huge serpentine sea dragon thing with like multiple flippers, like at least a dozen flippers on either side. It has a jaw bite radius probably as big as one of the excavators. As you're going, this is not looking good for the home team. As it's sort of Gus seems to be the only one in an excavator still at this point, as he is sort of desperately trying to shut the thing down and get out of there, but it's taking him a moment at this point. But the Leviathan seems to be making a beeline straight for his excavator at the moment. Okay, and that's where we're going to start the combat. Asgol, what are you doing? So, Tree, you're heading to the explosive shack at this
Yeah, I
point.
want to make a bomb.
You've already you've told the foreman we're going to take some explosives and make a bomb and try to drive that thing away. So like the foreman simply nods. It's like do whatever you have to do. Just try not to blow up all of our stores. That is all the explosives we have for the season. So it's like
Okay.
if all of it goes up at once, basically, there's no amount of money essentially that's going to replace that.
We will do our
I am
best.
going to over to the guy in the excavator and help him out.
Okay. So you zoom over to the guy at the excavator, and I need a Arcana check to help him shut down the machine, or at least get him out of there, because the basically safety canopy is locked down at this point and will not disengage until basically the machine is shut down.
16.
16. It is still stuck as you're going. As you're basically calling to him on the side, should I just cut the safety cage away so we can get you out of here? Because you got moments before, and Gus is going, no, it's like we can't afford to lose this piece of equipment.
We can fix it. Get him out.
I will cut away the safety cage.
Okay, so I need, let's see. All right, so I need, do you have any equipment that's meant to cut metal at this point, or no?
Only what I can was given to me by the miners.
Okay, so you probably have a plasma torch on you at this point, so go ahead and make a, okay, so make a dexterity-based Arcana check.
Alright, I don't know what. Okay, I rolled 12. My Arcana is plus 11. My Dex is plus 2. And proficiency is plus 4. I don't know what that adds up to.
Okay, so you got at least plus 6. So you got 18. All right, so you cut away the safety cage with the plasma torch. You cut away the hinges and pull it out and start grabbing Gus and like putting on the jets and basically trying to head back towards the mining shack essentially with the rest of the team. Hey,
How far away is this thing from me at the moment?
in practical terms, essentially, you can go up and engage it if you want to. So,
All right. So what I'm going to do is go up into the open air water area and cast Compelled Duel on this thing. So it'll have a Wisdom saves DC 17, or it has to fight me. Damn it!
whether or not your compelled duel or worked or not,
I'm going to use luck. I'm going to use luck to make him re-roll that damn die.
okay. I'm just saying, either way, it comes and attacks you regardless. It's just like you figure it worked, but in practicality, it didn't. All right, so it is actually compelled to duel you at this point.
Cool.
It
And
does.
That's it.
You hold your attack until it comes within swinging range, and essentially, and you as you clash with each other, go ahead and make your attacks, and I'll make its attacks.
All right. $28 and $21.
Godzilla.
Okay, it has AC 20, so you hit easily.
Okay, so I'm going to smite both times with level 3 smites. But slashing damage. $19 points of slashing damage. Is this thing a demon or a fiend or
Essentially,
aberration?
it is effectively just a magical creature.
Okay, so just 48.
All right, you see Hate go down swinging so Hate, you take 56 points of slashing / crushing damage / piercing damage. It's a mix of all three as you basically get taken into its mouth and chewed on. As you can see, parts start to shoot out the mouth of this thing from Hate being chewed on, and it's like and then you see a like sort of lump get swallowed down its throat as it swallows Hate.
Well, it takes 70 points of damage during that process.
And it takes 70 points of damage during that process. As you can see, purplish blood like begin to pull out of its mouth out into the water. It's like, but yeah, so Hate disappears down its gullet. Tirshan.
Well, that's not good.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. You take 10 points of electrical damage too.
Okay. My armor is kind of chem sealed. Does that help in any way?
Not from the electricity, no.
All right.
If it were poison gas, I would say yes.
Have we had a long rest since the first day when I used control water?
Not really at this point. So let's say you recovered one of the 4th level slots back at this point. But
That works.
Okay.
Okay. That's the thing. I'm not great underwater. Other than controlling water, which might be my best option at this point. I'm gonna cast control water and use whirlpool.
Okay. You basically try to put it in the wash cycle, and all right. It begins to get sucked in towards the center of the whirlpool as it ceases its advance on the excavation equipment, which is good. Ronan.
I'm going to have Poppy fire a harpoon at it.
Okay, we'll hit. That's AC 20.
AC.
Probably need about 11 or better.
I'm going to use inspiration on that.
Okay.
I think that's my last inspiration, though.
Okay.
13. That was my roll.
Okay, you hit. So give me damage.
Uh, 11.
All right. Your first bolt basically makes a slight crease in a scale, but you're going, in comparison to its bulk, you're going, I don't know if I'm doing anything. Okay, Mina, you arrive at the explosive storage shed. Strange enough, it's not even locked. You whip open the door basically swings open, slips open on its own. The whole area inside is flooded with water, so whatever explosives they have in here must be stable underwater and not be ruined by exposure to water, or maybe they're sealed. You see dozens of red and black striped canisters stacked up upon each other. Essentially, you go to heave one of these canisters. What is your strength, Mina?
My strength is +0.
you're going, holy shit, each of these canisters must weigh like 50 kilos. So there's almost a 100-pound object each. Okay, so you're basically looking around. You see a repulsor sled in the inside the building. You wheel it up quickly and unceremoniously boot one of these things off into the repulsor sled using your TK push.
Very good.
The but it's like, and you're going, since they're mine explosives, they've got to be extremely, extremely stable.
Right.
But you're also looking around here for detonator caps or detonating device, and you see those basically in a cabinet, sort of labeled volatile explosives. You figure those are it, and you go over there and grab some detonators. Okay, and that is your round, effectively. You have the explosives in tow at this
Okay.
point. If you want to know how to use them, you'll need to spend a round figuring that out.
Okay, I got it. And how close am I going to be to the monster?
You're not very close at all at this point, so the monster itself is probably about 100 feet away or so, essentially, because Hate went up to engage it, essentially, to keep it away from everything else.
Okay. What kind of movement would that repulsor sled have?
The repulsor sled has the same movement as you, essentially, you just
Okay.
drag it along behind you.
Okay, got it.
Uh,
Thank you, dear.
okay, so the Leviathan at this point, there are dozens of like arcs of lightning shooting out from it in every direction. Let's see here. Okay, so I need. Okay, so Hate, you automatically take 15 points of electrical damage for being inside, and then I need a con save. And then everybody else, give me a dex save, DC 18.
So con save 19 with luck.
Okay, so you take 20 points of acid damage rather than 40 as you
Well,
begin to get.
that will put me down.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, that'll put me at 3 points.
DC con DC save.
No, it's
No,
dex,
out here,
it's dex save for
yeah.
everybody
We're
outside.
just going to use
As you're
5.
avoiding the
Okay.
as you're avoiding the lightning strikes that are emanating from the Leviathan as it just fries the general area around it with lightning bolts.
21.
22.
Okay, so it's DC 18, so if you cleared 18, you're fine. Full damage is 40, half damage is 20.
All right. And I'm going to write that down for my pet.
Does this count as magical damage for purposes of my aura of protection?
It does not. The electricity, let's say, is it's like we'll say the
Excellent.
electricity is, so you can have the electrical damage.
All right.
The acid damage is not. That is just normal acid.
6, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and then there's that. And then there's that. What is going on?
All right. The rest of you are sort of onlooking, basically, though everybody's getting toasted by lightning. You're noticing the Leviathan doesn't seems to be circling around above you guys as if it's trying to locate something that it can't quite get at the moment because it swallowed it, and it is compelled to do it for right now. Okay.
But as soon as anybody else hits that thing, that goes away.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Asgol doesn't.
someone
do that.
did, but I'm saying from a practical standpoint, it's still tried to basically digest you. I assume
Right.
it'll just try to continue to do that until basically it is successful, or then it'll move on. So because it still hasn't broken out of your compelled tool at this point.
And when you mentioned that the things that were coming up out of the deep were lightning based, Mina did her new infusion that she can do from level 10, so she's resistant to lightning slash electrical
So it's
now.
fine. You take half of whatever
Yeah,
the listed full damage is.
great, thank you.
Okay, Asgul, you've gotten Gus free at this point and are jetting back towards the team as you dash forward, and you've gotten back up to the team at this point. You sort of you direct you direct Gus over to sort of this low squat foreman's like structure, concrete structure, synthetic structure, where the foreman and the rest of the miners are currently huddled in at the moment, and trying to figure out what to do next. You have your action left, so
Okay. Can I command my bonus action? Command my fish to try and distract it. Somehow I can get advantage to shoot at it.
okay. Well, you don't have any bonus action left. I'm saying your movement and your bonus was to get here, so with Gus
Okay.
and tow. So you just have your action left.
Okay. I will use my action to tell my fish to get close to it,
Okay,
but not attack.
we'll distract that thing essentially. Hey,
I'm going to lay on hands for 50 points.
Okay.
And then I'm going to. I don't think I want to Misty Step out of this thing because it'll probably eat me again. So I don't really have a bonus action that I can use. Would Shield of Faith do anything to mitigate the damage I'm taking inside?
not particularly. It just that happens regardless of your AC. So
Right. No. Okay. So that'll be it.
Okay.
I'm just going to wiggle around and give it a stomach ache.
All right, got it. Tirshan.
More concentrating on control water, I guess. I don't know how much else I can do. Oh, actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna try Divine Intervention.
All right, go ahead and roll your percent on dice. You have 10% chance.
Like that?
Well, that you need to roll 10% or below, I guess.
Yeah, so that's definitely a no.
That is, you are getting the busy signal from God. All right. You have reached the God channel. You have reached God service. Man, modern gods is just it's just not like gods of old. That's
We
just like,
care about your call, but we're not available right now.
Okay. All right, you get the God answering service. Ronan.
I am going to try to charge up to it and see if I can cut it.
All right, you take 10 points of electrical damage for just getting close as you're going. As you can feel electricity course through your body, even for getting within like 30 yards of the thing. Okay, and go ahead.
Oh. 17 for the first run.
Okay, that's it has a 20 AC, so that's a miss. Or was that your roll?
No, that was with the plus 10.
Okay, got it.
And then 24 for the next one.
Okay, that hits. Are you just gonna basically action surge here and try to basically do it enough damage to where hopefully it'll recognize you and perhaps go away?
Yes.
Okay, keep on going. You got 2 more attacks.
25.
Nice.
Damn, I'm 12.
All right, you hit twice. So roll. I think you have a D10 weapon essentially. So roll 2D10 plus
Plus 6.
14.
Plus 14.
Plus 12. I'm sorry, plus 12. Yeah.
So 14.
Also, Lawrence, if this thing is still stuck in the whirlpool, it's taking 2d8 bludgeoning damage as long as it's in there. So on the first save, it should have, or the first fail, it should have taken 9 points.
Okay, got it.
Damage is 26.
26. Okay. You hack at it mightily. There's some more purplish blood that pools out in a cloud in the water, obscuring your vision for a second before you see the wall of scales continue to roll on by you. You're going, am I doing anything? Am I doing... It uses one of its legendary actions to body smash you for 15 points of damage as you suddenly notice the wall of scales get really, really close and smash into you. It'll like wham, and it's like getting hit by
Ow!
like getting hit by a Mack truck. So as you're flattened up against its belly,
But how much damage?
15 crushing damage. So, Mina.
Okay, so can I get this repulsor over to it?
All right, you scoot on up to it. If you want to try to get it, uh, set it off this round, you're at disadvantage, or otherwise you can try to set it at normal skill check and then move away.
Is this going to be Arcana?
It is going to be Arcana. That's correct.
Okay.
As you stick the detonator onto the cap of the explosive bundle and basically arm it. So
Okay, let me go ahead and do that at disadvantage. I have
okay, you're going to try to
inspiration and
set
I
it and
have one
go.
plus
You're
five.
going to try to set it and go on, and then zoom away as quickly as you can in one round. All right, got it.
And we're gonna try that. Okay. So, so that's a 14, and I can put 5 on that and make it a 19.
Okay. You set the explosive and get it to go off, but you are nowhere near clear of the explosive blast once it goes off. You do pick a place basically that is not next to Ronin, for instance, but you are well within the explosive blast because you have underestimated the yield of this thing by a lot. Uh, the it's more mainly a pushing explosives and not a really like high shock explosive. So you get launched forward by extremely violently. I need a con save DC 20.
Kiduki. And it's a nat 20, so that's a 26.
Okay, so you take
Hey.
half. You take half the damage, which is 30.
Okay. And that's is that lightning or electrical?
That is
Because
force
force
damage.
damage. Okay.
Does my fish need to make a save?
No, I'm saying she's chosen a location essentially, which won't affect because the Leviathan is like super long, right? She could put it anywhere along its legs.
So I was trying to get to it to do it in one round, and I wanted to get it to where there wasn't a lump that looked like hate. So I didn't get
This
away.
is just one of those things you can't even tell where Hate is. You figure he's up by the throat of this thing and probably working his way down the digestive
He's
system.
in there somewhere.
Okay. Okay, so the you see like scales fly all over the place as everybody sees this like bright flash from an explosion underwater as the water basically zooms outward, then collapses inward in an implosion like almost the same instant as everybody's like oh, and can feel it in their chest. Everybody takes 3 points of concussive damage essentially from just the sheer shock wave from the blast. You can see windows in the basically foreman's like concrete bunker all blow out all at once. It's like people probably felt that basically within a mile of this thing going off. Uh, the uh, the Leviathan at this point, like its tail seems to be like sort of twisted slightly as it basically sort of like doesn't. It's no longer completely sinuous in its movement as you've probably broken some ribs.
It has
Alina herself is basically like. Did someone get the name of that truck? Okay, so Leviathan. Okay, so that would be Ronin, the fish, and Hate. I'll take 15 points of electrical damage from just being in the electrical field. Let's see. Hate needs to make a con
Say
save
15?
to get. Hate needs to make a con save. DC. It was DC 18, right? So
Yeah,
Sweet.
got a 23.
okay, so you take half of the 40 damage for 20. Let's see here, and then let's see here. It needs to actually attack somebody. Okay, so if it's twice. All right. It's like. All right. Ronan disappears into his gullet. You take 50 points of combined crushing, slashing, piercing damage as it chews you once and basically swallows you whole. As you are now inside the gullet with hate. As Ronan and hate are going, hey, how you doing?
Ouch!
As Ronan's arm is like hanging on by a thread, and Hate's left leg basically is sort of bent backwards at this point from being chewed on. Uh, okay, so that's the Leviathan at this point. It did its attack. So and Asgol.
I will command my fish bonus action to try and harry it, like bite
Okay,
on it.
so got it. It does its help action. You have advantage. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to use the black pistol, and I'm going to fire the full charge at it,
Okay, roll to
which
hit.
is 8d6, I hope.
Roll your attack with advantage first. So
Okay, so the attack is plus 8, so 18.
it has AC 20. Keep on going. You need 12 or better.
Well, that was my 2 rolls. I rolled them both at
Do
the
you
same
have any
time.
inspiration? Can you use it on that?
I have 1 inspiration left.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Oh. Nope, I'm okay because I have something else. All right, and then so I am going to try and grapple hook onto it.
Okay.
And for my second attack, I'm going to try and use the Psi needle. Do I
Oh,
still
you're
have?
going to use the side needle. Okay, so roll to hit AC. Okay, roll to hit AC 16. I guess basically the side needle effectively ignores armor.
Do I still have advantage?
Yes, you still have advantage.
All right.
Okay, so you take 10 points of electrical damage for entering the shock field as you get a bit.
All right, that is 21 to hit.
Okay, you hit. All right, so add what is it? Side needle, I believe does 66, and then you need to add your sneak attack damage to that.
4, 5, 6, and I got 1 sneak, so 76.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2. Oh, here's 10, 25, 6, 7, 8. Plus my dex is 2. Wait, what did 30 damage.
All right, you cause it 30 psychic damage. Basically, it makes that horrible whale keening noise as everybody's going, "Oh, that hurts." All right, make a morale check for the Leviathan at this point. Lower is better.
I rolled a 15.
15. Okay, it is sticking around, unfortunately. All right, 8.
I'm going to spin up the chainsword and just sort of start cutting my way out.
Okay, so if you can do 40 points of hit points worth of damage in a round, you can cut your way out. So go to it. AC inside is 16.
All right. Well, that's going to require my last luck. That's going to do it.
Nice.
And then the other attack is a 2. So I have inspiration. I have 2 of those. I'll use one of those. So the potential is there as I divine smite level 2 on each attack.
Okay, very good.
So slashing damage is going to be 12 and divine smite 13, so that's 25. And then the second attack 15 plus 15 is 30, so 45 points of damage, or 55 points of damage.
Okay, you go jetting out the side of the creature and start attempting to swim away. Let's see here, and then Tirshan. It seems to
Do I?
it doesn't seem to be like getting sucked into your whirlpool anymore at this point. It seems to have stabilized, so you're not quite
Yeah.
sure if you're having quite the effect you want anymore.
So I'm still. It's only been 2 rounds, so still conscious. Can I redirect flow to try and like just force it onto the ground,
Sure, you
or like
could
just
just create a
hang
big
it?
air pocket underneath it, basically, and have it fall to the ground if you
Yeah,
want.
that'll work.
Because you can evacuate an area a little bit. You can part the sea like basically like Moses and cause a big open area.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh wow.
Okay, it makes a horrible roll and it doesn't have any legendary saves. Rolls a 1. It comes crashing to the ground some 60 feet below it as basically the water beneath it that was supporting its tons of weight basically suddenly disappears. Hate, make a deck save, basically not to be underneath it.
Hey, since I am
I'm still inside of it too, you know.
21.
You activate your jetpack and zoom off to the side. Just roll a burnout check for your jetpack and give me the damage for your jetpack to the Leviathan while as you're doing this.
Oh, natural 20, so it breaks.
Okay, there's a big, there's this huge brr, the of boom of flame as the jetpack flames out, but there's this huge fireball that basically launches Hate off to the side. Go ahead and roll the 5d6 damage for your jetpack to the
17.
Leviathan. You, as it scorches the side of the Leviathan, sealing the hole it just made. Hate just made on the way out, and okay, and then roll. What is it? Let's do 10d6 fall damage for this thing. So, Tirshan, roll the damage
34.
As it goes crashing to the ground with a loud bam. Let's see here. Well, it is generally over there. This is just odds or evens essentially. Tirshan, Mina, and Asgol. I'll roll an even odd check essentially. If it's evens, you're not underneath it. If it's odds, you are.
Okay.
Will I
Evens,
attack?
I'm not.
Wait.
Evens, you are safe. Odds, you are happen to be underneath it and need to make deck saves.
Well, I was
I got
attached to a
14.
ground with my here.
Yeah, we're just saying even odds, Asgol, whether or not you're on
Okay.
top of it or on the or underneath his belly as it falls to the ground.
All right. 1. I don't know what
You
that
are
is.
underneath it. I need a deck save DC 20.
Oh, woo. That's 24.
Okay,
Dex.
no problem. You take 17 points of damage as no, never mind. You're a rogue. Are you high enough level to have evasion at this point, Asgol?
No, I only have 1 level of rogue.
You only have 1 level of rogue. Okay, so never mind. You take 17 points of damage as one of your leg is basically caught under the Leviathan as it smashes to the ground and it carries you all the way to 60 feet to the ground. There's okay, so the whole seabed reverberates as this hundreds of tons of weight smashes into the ground. Ronan, we'll just say because you're inside, you take a quarter of this, so you take 7 points of damage. You're surrounded by Jello anyway, so it's just like it's barely any damage. You do get rocked around in there a little bit, but that's about it. Okay, Ronan, I also need a con save at this point for being in its acid gullet.
17.
17.
I have the marine armor on.
Yeah, it doesn't protect you from acid damage, though. Essentially, it protects you from like poison gas and having to breathe. So it protects you from biological contaminants and that sort of stuff, but it doesn't protect you from being dissolved. So
Oh, okay. 17.
okay, so the DC was 18. So you take. Do you have any inspiration? Do you want to spend on this? Otherwise, you take 40.
I'll use my last inspiration.
Okay.
25.
25. Okay, so you take half damage for 20. Let's see here. So that was Hate. Tiershan did your thing. Ronan, what are you doing?
I'm going to try to get myself out of here.
You want to Misty Step out of there because that's the easiest way of doing this.
Yes.
Okay, you pop yourself back to the outside of the Leviathan. Boop! Okay, so you still have your action left. What are you doing?
I'm moving far away from it, as far away as I possibly could go.
Okay, you move far away from it. Great. Okay, Mina.
Okay, so everybody's out of it. I'd like to cast reduce on it, so it needs to make a con 18 save.
It stays exactly the same size.
Well, that's what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's good. And
Okay.
can I go further to safety or to join up with anybody or
Well, they're just more further away to safety as you're basically dangerously close to its electrical field, and it is thrashing around now that
yeah.
it's on the seafloor.
So I'll use max movement to get
Okay.
far away.
The Leviathan at this point seems to have had enough at this, and it rolls back out into the water and jets away at some ridiculous pace, like probably easily 60, 70 knots under the water. It's like,
Whoa.
faster than like the sub that you saw basically come in earlier from the Temple of the Leviathan. As you see it zoom away, and its shadow basically bothers you no more. As you're all checking yourselves and going, oh, ow, 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 ow,
All right,
ow.
third level spell slot. Hang on. There. Hate can take 30. Ronan can take 20. Who else got like really hurt in that fight?
I'm about halfway down.
I'm about halfway
Yeah,
too, but yeah.
Azul can take 15. I'm not super damaged. Mina, how is everyone looking after that?
I'm at 43 of 73, so as long as we don't have anything else chewing on us, I'll be okay.
I am at 22 health now.
Okay. So everybody picks up an inspiration for having driven away the Leviathan at this point. As you feel exalted that you're still alive after that.
And it was witnessed by all the miners who can write songs about us. Yay!
Exactly. The miners begin to emerge from the foreman's office as they're looking around. They're all a little shell shocked at this point, but they otherwise seem to be in good health. The foreman comes scrabbling up to the lot of you. It's like, that was amazing. Essentially, I don't think the Monster Hunters Guild could have even done any better than that. I wish those assholes basically at the Temple of Leviathan would have done something to calm it down. I'm told they're supposed to have a special relationship with the Leviathan, but they took off like cowards.
And the good news is we got a little experience with the explosives before we take on that monster at the volcano. So,
Excellent. You set them off like an expert. Though I did notice that you were cutting the blast. It has a good 70-foot basically danger zone where it would be lethal to most people to be within the blast radius, and then it halves and halves again essentially every about 50 or 60 feet beyond that. So.
Okay, that's very good. Excellent explosives. I was a fan.
Yeah.
Coming from her, that's high praise.
All right, the foreman, given the Kraken the Rift Kraken is roughly the same size as the Leviathan. Go ahead and take two of the explosive charge canisters. Sure, you'll find a good use for them.
And of course, we can have some detonators. And can we borrow?
And then from here on out, you just know how to set the detonator and its actual dangerous explosive range. So. Okay. All right, everybody takes a short rest in the break room at this moment. So go ahead and spend whatever hit dice you want to spend.
Yay!
What is my hit dice? Oh, my things are 10s. Cool. Okay.
Oh, I feel so much better.
Then the 8 first.
So I'm back to full health.
And then 10. Wait. That can't be right. Wow, okay, it is D10s.
So, is the temple going to be upset that we had this battle with its Leviathan?
25, 18. We didn't kill it.
No, we didn't.
We
But-
gently drove it off.
But they're probably going to know something was going on. I think we were a little less than quiet.
I'm pretty sure it was the Miners Guild that did it.
Maybe we can blame it on those cowards that ran away.
I'm sure
You
they-
are as you're drinking your various caffeinated beverages underwater through a squeezy bottle. Uh, 8 notices his onboard charging system is damaged at this point, so he's gonna have to. He's trying to figure out. It's like, well, I should still be good for the next 24 hours.
that,
But
my
beyond
leg,
that, basically, I might have a shutdown problem.
that my leg is facing the wrong way and my rocket thrusters are completely kaput.
Yep.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I think we need to go back to our accommodations, and I need to do some repairs on the crew. And I think maybe our work here is done for the day.
Should we try and request some items from whoever? Some electrical or mini subs, torpedoes, electrical
They don't
protection?
have any torpedoes. They just have mining equipment. It's like yeah. You guys take the rest of the day off. We'll go ahead and clear away the debris field so you have easy access to the rest of the excavators. So you've gotten 2 of them working at this point, and fortunately, none of them were damaged in the fight with the Leviathan. So that's good.
I meant to ask like the underboss or someone.
Oh, the underboss for the Kraken Syndicate.
Yeah, anybody else that we can ask for equipment.
And I'm
That's right.
wondering, is there anybody that's willing to give us any money for the fact that we drove the Leviathan off from the mining crew?
You're sort of the underboss. It's like we hold an interest in we hold a stake in the Miners Guild and their profits. So you have saved us a great deal of a great expense, essentially. So they reward you all for 500 credits each for getting rid of the Leviathan. The Leviathan Church, of course, is the miners cover for you. By the way, it's like, yeah, we used some mining explosives to drive off the Leviathan. We couldn't let it damage the equipment. And that is their story, and that's what they're sticking to. So they don't identify any of you at all.
Thanks, guys. You're the best.
No snitching. Respect.
So it's like the foreman and Gus are going. I don't really think the temple officers would believed our cover story. So it's like, if you can get another one of these, get one of the the 2 heavily damaged power core excavators working, I think we can fix the rest with field repairs with just our normal crewmen. See what you can do basically over the next 1 to 2 days, and we'll call our contract good at that point.
Okay, that seems fair. Thanks for covering for us. We appreciate you guys.
All right, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the temple guards are on the lookout for you at this point.
Well, that's not anything we didn't know already. But thanks for keeping an eye out at least.
The good news is we were all covered in like underwater equipment, so we wouldn't necessarily.
They're all heavy diving suits anyway, so it's not
Yeah,
like you can
not super
easily recognize your
recognizable.
generic humanoids in diving suits. So.
Which humanoid is it? You can't tell.
Yes. All right. So the you okay. So you get patched up. You start working on the last two excavators. I need their power cores that are exposed. So there's possible issues with electrical and or radiation damage. So I need two con saves for people who work on this stuff, and then
Uh,
checks each.
question: long rest for spell slots or no?
Not as of yet. No.
Got
Essentially,
it.
the foreman is saying just see what you can do basically to shield up those power cores, and we'll call our contract good at this point.
Yep.
Okay, I
Because if
gotta.
you're hanging around here anymore, the temple guardians are going to come back and investigate again, if only to get if only to basically relocate the rest of the Leviathan spawn at the top of the mountain.
What's
Um,
their DC?
Okay, you're looking at DC 18 for the con saves and DC 18 for the Arcana checks.
so Mina got 25 and 25 on her cons. What? How many Arcana checks do we need?
Two Arcana checks.
Two. Okay.
I saw I got a one failed con save. And then Arcana.
I'm gonna use an inspiration on that extra Arcana. Okay. So I got a 19 and a 25 on my Arcanas.
So 18's were your target, so you're fine. All right, you got some heavy shielding over the exposed power core at this point. You've got the coolant systems back online. Um, the Mina's looking basically at her environmental readout on her powered armor. It's just like, man, we took a large dose of radiation from that. That's uh, like so long as we get decontaminated after this, essentially we should be fine. But just and then what? Did anybody else fail any con saves? So that would
I
be
failed one
Ronan
save.
failed one. Asgol, you notice basically actually touched the core. It's like, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Hey, if I get a glow, it'll match my tie dye.
Okay. And then how did Ronan do on con saves?
I passed both of them.
Pass both of them. Okay, Ronan likewise in the other exosuit doesn't actually touch the core, but Asgol, who's outside of an exosuit, manages to basically actually touch one of the cores and is like, I don't know, we're gonna have to basically do something. We're gonna basically have to check in on him, basically if he took any genetic damage. All right, so Asgol, you take 2 con damage at this point. It will have to be restored by greater restoration later on.
So is that like a -1 modifier?
That's a -1 modifier to your con bonus, and any hit points that we would have gained from that.
No, well, before we sleep, before we do take a long rest, let me take a look at that and I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I.e.,
All
I
right.
have greater
And did we have
restoration.
any failed Arcana checks? So
Mina made hers.
Bina made hers. Ronan, did you make yours?
What's the
Asgol, you made
DC?
yours. So
It's
I got
DC 18.
a. I failed one.
you failed one. Okay.
So I'm going to go down. What level am I? 10? 10 points. And my max goes down 10. Ah, that's terrible.
All right. Roll me a d20 for equipment breakage.
Who?
Ronan.
Oh, Ronan. Okay.
Five.
5. Okay. Most likely thing to break is probably your powered armor at this point. So the marine suit at this point, you're getting all sorts of glitches all across the board. Basically, it probably took a high dose of like gamma radiation through a control board or something because you're seeing the display glitch basically in the augmented reality display.
Fun.
As you see, and you're already beginning to smell burnt plastic inside the the rebreather. This is bad. Uh, okay,
Oh, the
so
exosuit.
you have a breakage in your powered armor at the moment. Okay, so the repairs get done. The exposed cores are shielded up. The coolant systems repaired, and you are able to bring the other two excavators, the really damaged excavators, back online, at least so they can move them away from their current position. Um, Gus and team basically jet in there, move the excavators away. Foreman congratulates you all. Well, all right, thank you for a job well done. Essentially, this is the end of our contract. Unfortunately, I don't have any money to give you, but I'm hoping those explosives serve you in good stead.
Nah,
Abs-
they'll probably do. They'll do fine, hopefully.
I needed a workout. Thank you for letting me play in the excavators. They remind me a little bit of my first one. It was fun. And we will try and do some interesting things with the explosives. We appreciate your help.
Very good.
Asgol is going to turn around and just puke from radiation sickness.
Anyways,
Ugh.
the once basically you get back to the reef and the other water city, and are in your apartments at this point, that your lease apartments. The when Asgol takes off his armor, Mina becomes extremely worried at that point. Is like you can see that he is suffering severe radiation poisoning at this point.
Crow,
Oh,
can you come
what?
look at
Ugh.
this?
Ugh. That is not a healthy shade of green. Let me fix that. And
I
I will
got
use
no. What spell do I have?
I'll use a 5th level spell slot and cast Greater Restoration on him.
Okay, as you call on the powers of the divine storm, the what is your god, by the way?
I don't technology, I guess.
Okay, so you actually I don't know. We'll just say we'll say you worship the collective's basically super AI. So
There's not the Met God here?
you basically call upon the holy scriptures within the library of the collective, and call upon their combined wisdoms. Like, how do I restore this faithful one
Google
to
how to
health?
fix radiation poisoning.
How to fix radiation poisoning? And it's like you come up with this strange concoction that you make Asgol drink. It's like, and as you see some all sorts of strange matrix numbers roll over his eyes for a split second, and then Asgol looks significantly more healthy, though still relatively weak. All right, so your two con damage is restored at this point, Asgol.
Woohoo!
All right,
So, do I
you
have what I
figure
need to fix Hate's leg, or do we need to try and find a shop?
you're gonna need to find a shop. You probably need between Ronin's power armor, where the main circuit board is fried, and the main
You gotta get a new motherboard.
control board is fried, and Hate's pack, you're probably looking at around 500 credits to repair it all.
Okay.
Ronin's arm didn't get completely severed, so you got gluing it back on with normal healing didn't seem to be a problem. Though it did leave a very nice white scar all the way around the socket of his left shoulder.
Ow.
So I'll pay the 500 credits to get everything fixed.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
The underboss, the Naga woman, is just like, yes, we have facilities available. It's like, my lieutenant will show you the way as they take you to a warehouse full of heavy industrial equipment. Just like, yep, this is exactly what we're looking for. It's like, hey, stick your leg in that. They literally just wrench it back into place, heat it up basically, and then then anneal it, and then call. Well, unfortunately, I don't think the actuator is all that is actually damaged. I think you're good once we just bend it back into shape.
Oh, good.
Are there any
Okay.
enhancements I can give him while we're here with the equipment?
Well, I think everybody's out of money at this point, so
Okay.
Yep.
so the
And Ronan's
uh
power armor is okay now?
yes, the 500 total basically covers all the repairs,
Okay.
including rodents. So
Thanks, Kate.
Yep.
all right, so the powered armor is back online. The environmental seal is good. You're no longer smelling burnt plastic. It's
Yay.
like I hope I don't get cancer from that. It's like okay, so the evening you spend the evening, take a full rest, and bright and early the next morning, you call upon the underboss. All right, well, we're ready to go at this point. We have the explosives. We figured we were going to need to take down the Kraken. We already hired the Monster Hunters Guild to be on standby with the Monsters Bay. What is it? The Sea's Bane to capture the carcass of the Rift Kraken once we defeat it. It's like as the Naga underboss goes was like, aren't you very confident in your own abilities? It's like
We have had a long rest at this point.
you have had a long
Yes.
rest at this point. So you head out on the underboss's private yacht to be. Well, actually, you just head out. You head out on the Sea's Bane. It's probably simpler to just take one ship.
Yep.
The you head out on the Sea's Bane. It's a largish converted cargo carrier. So it's just like sort of short, squat. It's very squat and rectangular with basically vaguely sloped sides. It's mainly meant to hold a lot of cargo as you're just in this large cavernous cargo bay with all sorts of what appear to be like heavy harpoon launchers set up on either in banks on either side of the bay. At this point, with sort of force field base portcullises sort of like jutting out into the water. Uh, the sea ogre captain Drogo says, "Yeah, by the time we get there, we're gonna flood this place. But so definitely have water breathing on by the time you get there, or at least rebreather gear, because we're gonna need to be uh, most of my crew basically can't won't doesn't fight at full effectiveness basically in the air. So this is we have the air in here for your convenience at the moment.
Oh, okay. And so I'm going to ritual cast underwater breathing on all of us again.
Okay.
We can have rebreathers and things like that. It doesn't hurt, but that way we've got a backup.
Okay. So as the oxygen capturing nanites flood out from Mina's suit and attach themselves to everybody's lungs, uh, it's like you signal to the Drogo, the sea ogre is like, go ahead and flood the bay. They start flooding the bay in mere moments, probably less than probably about 10 seconds. The whole bay is evacuated of air and filled with water. And you can see various crewmen at this point like take off their air-based rebreathers and like take deep breaths, take deep breathfuls of water, and basically filter out around the cabin, taking positions here and there. It's like, all right, well, we've got let's see here, full speed. We've got basically about a 30-minute trip to get out there at this point. So feel free to do whatever you do, essentially, while you're getting ready for battle. And that's where we're going to leave it for this evening.
Okay. That's another wonderful session. Thank you, Lawrence.